how do I actually really view mass majority of people? I view them or put them in the human category. Sleepwalking robots. Humans are sleepwalking robots. And a lot of so-called black people have joined the humans and have become sleepwalking robots. And they've stripped all their gears of life, all their way back. It's hard now because technology is advancing. Robotic technology is advancing. And even down to foods, everything that's, GMO, genetically modified, or non-GMO, whatever they mean by that. This is nothing to trust. They're taking over farming, and they're genetically modifying all the food so that they can have longevity. And if people understood outside of the sleepwalking robot program, the attack on farming in the last 10 years and farmers and how they've invaded farmers and took their farms and set different laws to where you can't grow a certain amount of food and stuff like that, is to start breaking down you being able to even just acquire land, natural resources. It's actually attack on nature is what's really going on. It's an attack on nature, the natural people, the soul people. And you have soul people versus spiritual people. Spiritual people are the sleepwalking robots. And that's what so-called black people are today. The working people that get up, go back and forth to work, the people that still cashing checks, paying bills, 401k plan, waiting for retirement, taking vacations, planning vacations, going to the doctor when they get sick, seeing what the doctor says is wrong with them, taking medicines. That's the sleepwalking robots. Those people don't take care of themselves. They Black Lives Matter. They want retribution. They hollering about Africa. They're from Africa and things of that nature, and still in that frame. And that's a frame that you should have walked out of by now and realized the world around you, the scientific world, the robotical world around you, the 5G world around you, down to the difference of the children that are today, because these are sleepwalking robot children. These are the children you raised in the last 30 years are not, the soul have been took out of them through Sega Genesis, through Nintendo, through Xbox, through PlayStation, through iPhones, cell phones, period, computers, and young parents. So this is what a generation of children were raised in, and they were raised into the simulation, a fake life, a life of spirituality. And when you take solar children that has solar systems and raise them under a ritual of religion and belief, and fix their mind to already trust their ancestry lies in slavery, then it will be easy to induct them into the new world order, the new way that the elite is trying to run things, or your captor, your oppressor is trying to run things at the same time, behoove you into thinking the world today is what it is. And it still stands as get a job, 401k plan, get some insurance, die off, leave this to your child. And they want people in that natural rotation. That rotation it's an imitation rotation, but it's becoming natural for people to think that that's what life is. Credit scores and things of that nature. The powers to be love these people because they're participants in their game. They're playing participants, and they just keep getting inducted. They keep accepting credit cards. They don't want nothing to do with nature. They want the new credit cards. They want to check for their credit score. They still want a mortgage. They're not thinking land. They're thinking home. Buy a home. They're not thinking build a home, get some land. And they're not thinking take farming classes. They're not trying to get away from what's going on. So they're going to be sucked up into modern day society, new way of life, new world order. And they will become, if they're not already, sleepwalking robots which would be the modern day slaves. So when you have you parents have failed their children by raising them on cell phones, not being disciplined enough, not allowing the children to do the psych was, oh, let them get a little room, let them explore this. No child should explore nothing. They're not ready to explore anything without guidance. And you have started with children that talk back and brothers and sisters that don't get along, and children disappearing fathers, disappearing mothers, things of that nature. Then you have child protective services that will come and take your child. They have this all set up because they want your child anyway. They don't think you can take care of it, take care of your child. So they're right there to offer the woman, Medicare assistance, things of that nature. And the way the child has been raised in the last 30 years has not been in soul, has been in society. And society way of growing these children or raising these children was the educational system, the spiritual system, and keeping these children under law and order, stop and frisk. And, when black people start selling drugs, you make crack, get harder laws for the crack, because, so many black people are selling crack to put them in jail more, to fill up the prisons, to, satisfy the prison investments. That's another part of their schemes. And the child has lost soul. The children today don't have any kind of soul in them because their parents were workers, had to work, had them at a young age, had to try to do their best to take care of them. So they had to fall into a sleepwalking robot way of life. So that's just what you see today. And you see, my children per se, and parents who raise their children the right way. And I was asked a question about my children, my children per se, my bloodline. I'll bring my children always appear with me on this YouTube channel on Soul Future, and that's me showing people strength behind me building a mindset, because people want to see, well, what kind of law and order do you have with your own? Be it you with the woman or not, what kind of respect do you have for your children? I always show it. I show the respect that I have for my children. My children are not in fear of having to worry about answers because they have a father that's here. And if a lot of children had a dad or mom that was there, present, like my children have a mother and father that equally does for them in a lot of ways, that's just equally there for them, let me say, period. In whatever way our children need, we're alive and healthy to be there for them. And parents don't understand what kind of boost that is, whether you're broke up or not. If they know that they still have two parents that didn't, leave them, their mom and dad may have split. And this might be in a lot of situations. Yet, I got access to dad, I got access to mom, and I'm not missing anything. I'm still getting advice from both ends. The way these children were raised today, they don't have nowhere to go to advice. To get advice, because their mothers, if they're 15 or 16, their mother ain't but 34, 35, 36, and they're watching their mothers and fathers getting high, going out of jail, and my children didn't have to watch that. And so I always confirm in life and state from my supermanhood that my children's father is me, Apex Solar One. Why would they have to go anywhere to get answers when I'm their father? Apex Solar One is their father. You understand that? That's the luxury that they have in the world, because my children always calling me, always contacting me. They were quick to meet someone that's knowledgeable or whatever, and they'll say, well, here's my dad right here. And go to YouTube, and after turning them on to their dad, that person might come back to them and be like, oh wow. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, that's who my father is. And that's just me being here. No money, no, that's not giving a child money or nothing like that. That's just having an enlightenment, being an intelligent man, an intelligent father that passes things on to my children since they were born, because I was there and their mother was there to raise them together for the majority years of their life when they needed us. You know what I mean? So the parents, y'all have failed your children. Y'all made mistakes. So you have children today going to see psychics, not really knowing what to do. And they're not doing it for experiment. I've had a child, one of my children came to me and said she went to see a psychic, and because we have that communication, I allow my children to explore. And I know what that is, but I just, when she told me, I put a protection on her because she has a father out here, not locked up, to put a protection on her. You know, sometimes you locked up. You're not there for your child, for their phone calls. So when my daughters call me, maybe crying about a problem, or my sons call me and they just need to ask a question or whatever like that, I hang up the phone at the end of the conversation and I say, wow, I'm just glad I wasn't locked up. I'm glad I stopped doing foolish things. I mean, it ain't about money. I was just there for them. Just there for them. And that makes me proud. It makes me want to keep being there for them, keep making the right decision out here and not giving these so-called black women another nigga that's getting arrested for selling drugs at an old age, still trying shit and all that kind of stuff. Nah, if you're looking for that, then you're not looking for the new me. And everybody should renew themselves, you know. So these children go see psychics and the parents become oracles and psychics themselves, thinking they have some superpower, but they're deriving their power from what they were raised on. And 9 times out of 10, that's Jesus, all due respect, and spiritualism in the church. And no one of color, of carbon, no black person, so-called, should have got into the life of spirituality, should not be spiritual, should not be reaching for anything spiritual, because that belongs to sleepwalking robots and human beings. When us solar beings, as you all, have a solar plex and you live under a solar system and you manifest out of the sun, which is solar empowered, it's a whole different way to treat your body and a whole different way to treat your mental, and it's a whole vibration that you go back to. So once you begin a spiritual life, you're open for social life and society and the new world order and all their gadgets and computers, and you have to work and you have to do this, and that becomes your way, your credit score, and your credit cards and your car and your car note and cell phone, that becomes what you're, you know, tangled up in. And y'all miss years being natural. And you forget how to eat, forget what to eat, you become sick, you get cancer, and you die off because you didn't stay natural. Now I understand it's an attack on nature, but you have to get into you, the holistic you. So when you go and do tarot readings and witchcraft and all of that, and not even understand that a craft is something that hovered over, that civilizations traveled in, spacecrafts, witchcraft. You might think that craft has something to do with the earthly thing. No, it's the craft of the solar system that's flying over the planet, that they're trying to conjure that energy from those true solar beings, which is you, which you so-called black people are descendants of. And instead, you're trying to be spiritual and follow their God, and they're giving you witchcraft and everything, and trying to get the power from the solar system. And that's the craft that they're trying to present to you. They're trying to get to the craft that's flying, a UFO, a craft. Not craft as in a technique that you have, a craft that you do. And that becomes that. But the craft overall is why you think they go up and out for powers. But in the case of these oracles and tarot readers and psychics and things of that nature, and the black woman on earth, the majority of black women on earth have been took toward the lunar, the moon cycle. The moon is where all your witchcraft and psychic tarot card readers are now conjuring their energy up. The ones who don't know the truth, the ones who haven't been behooved, that's not beaming toward the solar system and trying to get their power. The majority of them is going towards the moon. And the moon cannot have any power unless the sun shined on it. And it's leftover power from the sun. So back to you being in charge with your solar system. But you choose to go ask them for questions and get readings for them about you instead of going into the sun and the rays to get questions about you and into a vibration on your own in privacy and with peace and harmony around you. And I tell you, your mentor will give you the answers. And you your own tarot card reader, you your own oracle, do your own witchcraft. You understand what I'm saying? And don't think of witchcraft as something bad unless you're using it from something bad. And a lot of this witchcraft and tarot card readings is being brought from a spiritual world because water introduced spirituality. Once we begin to put the humans in pods in the water, you understand, as an experiment, extra beings experimenting on the planet, that's like doing rituals, and they became ritualistic human beings, thus the sleepwalking robots I'm talking about today. But in their creation, it was water that they went through. So water is their God. Water is where they find their spirituality. And that's what the church would teach you. And everything leads to a water by the door. When you get blessed, you baptize in water. Water is spiritual for them. You're not a spiritual person. You're a solistic or solar person. Your train was soul train. So why it's not there no more, all black music. You moved on a different vibration, on a different rhythm. You will manifest, let's just say, from a different atmosphere, from a different climate, from a warmer climate than being in water, being created in water. So this is why they're so ritualistic. They're ritualistic people, because rituals by their creators, which were our descendants, were being performed in the water with them for them to be created and crawl out of the water and become, and not become, and be created, and then have an evolution. So we're trapped, a lot of our people are trapped into being spiritual and Holy Ghosts and words and catching the word and with all due respect, Jesus and all of that. And look at the state of our people today. And after all of that, you got to hold up signs saying Black Lives Matter. You didn't go to Jesus. You got out on, foot and was marching and seeing all of these things wrong. And I didn't hear one word of Jesus mentioned during the Black Lives Matter thing. Nobody prayed to Jesus to help this movement. You had to get out and do things. And I always say, if your life mattered, if your life really mattered, you wouldn't have to hold up a sign. Go and invent something, create something, do something. Look at the situation and become great. Become greater. Do something that will change the situation, and then your life will matter. This is why, think of solar panels. Solar panels is erasing out electricity. They're telling you just need the sun to shine on these panels. And electricity comes from the motion of water on the earth. The moon controls the tides of the water, all water on the planet Earth, the moon. That's moon energy. And moon energy leads to spirituality. And then nobody that's so-called black carbonated people with carbon in them, us, should be dealing with the water and spirituality. When it comes to you mentally vibrating back to who you are, you have to do that on a sun vibration, a solar vibration, and that's heat. Remember, we are the creators of things, of elements and everything. We created water for them. You understand that? You understand that? 1 hydrogen, 2 oxygens. If y'all understood what was really going on around y'all, y'all would try to wake up. Y'all would try to wake up. Y'all would understand that this genetically modified food and everything they're trying to do it doesn't fit your system. You have to, vegan, all of these things y'all are now with these smoothies that's being mixed with genetically modified fruit. It's been shot up. It doesn't have the real amount of vitamin D, C, or protein that you really need. So you're starting off wrong. And then some say, one brother told me, now I get an extra protein pack. And if you got to look up stuff, these protein packs are still animal-based. So just take the time to not be a sleepwalking robot. Solar people, take the time to not be a sleepwalking robot and check yourself and see that are you in this world that's just going back and forth, and what you can do to get out is get you some land and learn farming, learn how to grow food, save seeds, protect the earth, give, and stop waiting to receive a paycheck for work you've done for them to go on and torture this planet and torture you. Because you're providing it yourself. You're being a servant yourself. So I don't want to make this, all day. I just wanted to get in touch with y'all. Thank y'all for checking out Death Before Dishonor. The only reason people lose is because they don't know how to win. I'm just doing very well. Any questions? You can call the new 917 number this Sunday a.m. at 7, and we'll rock. And that number is given to people who I know I gave it to. So I think it's about 20 of y'all that have that number. And those are the people that I want to call in, because that's the people of the mindset and not believers. All right, so sleepwalking robots is what's going on, and beware of the future, because everything is it's bigger than what you all think. Trust me, I'm barely preparing y'all and just trying to touch the surface. It's much more deeper than what y'all think. It really is. It's scarily, horrifically, the hold that they have on us and the future to come if you don't change and shift and shape your own future. It's going to be horrible. So you have to get rid of people. You have to remove people from your life, and that's what I have done lately. In the last year, I've removed women, brothers, homeboys, whatever that just didn't make sense to me, that was repeatedly making mistakes. And I don't love them anymore. I don't have room for them anymore. And it may be cold, but the only time I want to see these people again is never. You understand? And that's just what it is. People that wasted too much time. Those are shapeshifters. You know how you look at the mutants, or you watch the joint where they got the mutant school and all of that, and you see the shapeshifters. A mutant might be a pretty woman and she'll shapeshift into a lizard or something like that. That's what you have out here. Nobody today, they're being so broken down. Nobody today is keeping their word. Nobody today is being solid. It's very hard to find solid people that keeps their word. Everybody is so much on the run. I don't know, I got to go here. I might be able to make it, or this or that, or that. So starting trouble, or online. You got grown men online beefing and back and forth with each other. It's just a mess. And then you have some people that just still lying, that just will lie to you and then turn on you, just shapeshift. They're not doing it physically like the movies, but they're shapeshifting. They're not being, because they're walking into this sleepwalking robot era. And you can't deal with people who's working, who has the 401k mortgage. I got to go to the hospital when I'm sick. Jesus thing, still believing. You can't mix with them people because they're already set in their own world. And they have no natural time. All that natural time has been exhausted by them. And they don't realize it yet. Then they try to go and do something natural, and they're out of sync. They don't know where the natural organizations are at. They lost their soul. They gave it up. So all they got to do all they can do is wait on, keep their jobs, pay their bills, back and forth, and they become thinkers of what they want to do, but they don't realize that they're 40 and over, 50, 60 and over, which is young for us if we was in the solar mindset, but they're in a spiritual mindset, and they're going to wrinkle with the spiritual people. They're going to wrinkle like old white people, like Caucasian people, because they're spending their time destroying their nervous system by worrying. It's a strain to have to get up and know you have to go to work. It's a strain. And when you live years and years of doing that, man, premeditating, knowing you can't do too much, get up and put these hours here, and in that place you don't like, and you got to pay your bills and get your ass back right, that's a whole separate strain that's causing your sickness. And it's another strain to say, well, I want to stop, yes, but I can't. How else I'm going to take care of myself? What I'm going to do? That's all. It becomes a whole nother word. Y'all are gone. Took too long. All y'all could do is try to get a smoothie drink in between, work out every now and then you stop your workout. Oh, I was working out for a month, working out for a month and a half, then I just stopped, get back into this, back into that. It's over. That's the cycle that people are going to live. Those are the sleepwalking robots. And you have to get out of that, get more in touch with soul things and natural things. And that's just the truth, man. And that's our people. And they're in this computed world. And we're dealing with a lot of shapeshifters. Our own people are shapeshifters, man. People who turn on you, man. People don't keep their appointments. People who lie. People say, oh no, down to a little thing. I'll call you right back. And you don't hear from that person because they didn't care about their word that they'll call you right back. So you have to shed these people. You have to get rid of these people. Be it your ex-girlfriend, your ex-wife, your ex-soulmate, your ex-whatever. If it ain't working out, let the signs teach you and move away from that person. And you just can't look back. If that person he or she go and get themselves together in their world, so be it. But we cannot deal with that energy again. To us, that was the calling. Solar beings called people, and they didn't answer the call. I have no time I don't do recalls. I've done recalls. I don't no longer do recalls. I've ran out. I'm exhausted with recalls, with friendships, and relationships with, even intimate relationships with women. If you're not with me now, you'll never be with me. Unless you're a future person that I didn't know, and you're gonna pop up, and I'm gonna deal with that future person because it was supposed to be. But those that are with me now are either gonna be with me or I'm gonna shed them also. So yeah, like I said, again, you're either with me or you're not. You're a soul person that realizes you have a solar plex and you live under a solar system, or you want to be a part of human life and weaves and fake eyelashes and nails and tattoos and liposuction and breast implants. You niggas want to go and get vaginas and be homosexuals and wear tight-ass jeans and still parade around for the man and not provide a warrior for the soul woman that's out here, for women that's out here that need a little boost, and vice versa for you women who's just doing all that extra stuff. Just look at yourself every day you come home. Look how much you judge yourself, your nature, by how much you got to detach when you get home at night and how much you got to put on when you get up in the morning. You're far gone from nature. Far gone. You're just a sleepwalking robot.